name is
Hi.
Therese, and I'm from Comics Beat. I love the show. I watched it. I've seen it twice now because it just cracks me up every time, and it gives me a good little boost of energy when I see it. So, David, my first question is for you. I'd love to know how you created this project and how you got involved with Taika Waititi for this.
Yeah, I heard about this guy and I read about him on Wikipedia and was like, this is a super interesting story, and not really like pirates aren't my end all be all. So I'm a little surprised I'm making a pirate thing, but the story's so interesting, and then to have this very clear character and then be able to like kind of build the pirate world around this very personal midlife crisis story felt like, oh, I could, that's a good way into it. And then the script made its way to Taika. We share a manager, and he really liked it and thought it was a good, I mean, I guess it wasn't even a script yet. It was just an idea. And he liked the take that I had on it, and it happened pretty quickly after that.
Mm-hmm. So, Garrett, having worked with Taika multiple times yourself on especially recent projects, I really want to know, was there anything surprising about the series working on it with him, and what was your first reaction to seeing him in that costume?
My first reaction was actually kind of terror. He was extremely intimidating. And we did a camera test in the middle of like it felt like the rainforest. Yeah. And so he seemed like this mythical figure. This one was really exciting because we got to use newer technology in creating this. It's called an LED wall, the volume, kind of like what they do on Mandalorian, which they've done on a few shows, but they've never done it for a ship, as a backdrop for a ship. And so we got Rob Vincent, who's worked with Taika multiple times as well. He's a brilliant production designer, to help us prep that. It was nerve-wracking, but really exciting too.
Yeah, I've heard some things about how it's on like a flotation device, and it sounds all really amazing.
Yeah.
So I really, really love Reese as Steed. I think he's like he is the star of the show, but he's like the gem. He makes me laugh every time they cut to him like in the library holding up the books in the storm. I mean, super funny. I really want to know, what was it like casting him, and what made you guys decide to cast him? Was it just a audition like everything else, or just want to know about that?
I think we got we cast, I think like most of the season was written when we were to cast it. And I remember that we got maybe one round of auditions from really good actors from London, England. They played it, and watching them do it and feeling like, I hate this guy.
There's also this feeling of, actually, these people are good. If only they sound a little bit more like Murray on Flight of the Conchords, or just a little more Reese Darby, I think was the thing that kept coming up. But it took a minute before we were like, wait a second, Reese Darby.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't bring Reese's name up. I think I thought of him like way when I started writing, and then kind of memory hold it. And then I remember the moment, like I was driving, we missed an exit, and my friend really had to pee. Because I texted Garret, Reese, with like a question mark. And then after that, it was like, oh yeah, like he was, in my mind, he was the only one. He was the only person who could pull it off, who could do.
Once he came up, there was no one else.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's free.
Gotcha. It's okay. So obviously Steed is a historical character. I'm really curious, how deep did you guys dive into pirate history, and were there sources that you were pulling from, or was it just like, you have the skeletons and we could just go crazy?
Not a deep dive. That's all. I think Taika, like one of the first things he said was like, don't research this. Don't research anything. And it was good because I just got done doing something where I had to research a lot. So it was nice to just be like, just like the rough beats of this guy's story, and then just make the rest of it up.
Very anti-research, these guys.
Yeah.
So I really love that like dinner party scene on the boat. I think that was like the weirdest thing. I was very surprised to see it happening on a ship. Were there ever any scenarios that were maybe too crazy that you you guys are throwing it out there of like places for them to go and events that were going to happen? Were there any that were too crazy to film?
I mean, nothing that made it to a production script. I'm sure there were ideas where, you are like, wow, what can they do? Because it is like a little like sci-fi in that they're in a ship going to different cultures, and then they have to get off the ship at some point, and then you have to build everything when they get off the ship. It's not like you can just go shoot at a mall somewhere, like you have to like build it. So a lot of thought goes into how do we achieve like a location that they're going to go to or an adventure they're going to go on. So by the time it makes it to script, I think we have a pretty good idea. But that party in 105, that entire fancy party boat, killed our team. Just the amount of, and then if you have background players, they all have to have wigs and like full on, like they're the lead of the show costumes. So that was an extraordinary effort, and pulled off really well.
Amazing. Well, I'm also really just curious about the amount of comedians that you guys have on this show. What was it like giving them a call up and being like, hey, are you interested in being, having a little role on this show? And, did they have any input in their roles?
The first part, it's just amazing. Like you have somebody else's wallet and you get to hire someone for a good part. And then you get like a list of all these people who are amazing. And, it's just like, hey, who do I love? Would they do this? And then sometimes they say yes. And you're like, oh my God, they're doing it. They're here and they're doing it. And, in terms of like input, I think people showed up like ready to go. They were ready to be in a pirate world. We designed Leslie Jones. We designed Spanish Jackie's costume with Leslie. We were talking, I was thinking that, she'd dress like Prince, like suit era Prince. And then Leslie Jones came back with hair from Vampire in Brooklyn, the Eddie Murphy movie. And that was a really nice collaboration. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I really want to thank you guys for talking with me. I can't wait for the show to come out. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you.